Okay, so this is what you need to do for your histogram bonus points, right? So you should collect data that looks like this, all right? A column of data that just looks like this. Enter it into your spreadsheet this way. Oh, and by the way, for this demonstration, I'm using Google Sheets, which I found out through, by trying it out, is a pretty solid workflow for this task. You'll see what I mean. It's just actually a few steps. Other implementations of spreadsheet might be more or less complicated than this, but probably more complicated. So I found this to be fairly simple. So I hope you also find it to be simple. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to approach me. Okay. So here's what your data should look like. It's a sequence of 20 numbers. The first number is the number of heads you got on the first sequence of 30 coin tosses. So according to this data, on my first sequence of 30 coin tosses, I got 9 heads. So 9 out of 30 heads. 9 out of 30 tosses were heads. And the second was 13 heads, and the third was 12 heads, and so on. So we have to convert this data, or visualize this data rather, in a histogram for this task. So go up here to insert, right? So highlight, first of all, highlight the data, right? Go up here to insert chart. Okay, down to chart, you see? All right, and it looks like it defaulted to line chart. I've observed that doesn't always happen. It's actually defaulted to histogram before. So in any case, go over here to setup, right? The chart editor, which pops up, and here under chart type, it's a pretty elaborate drop-down menu, right? So choose this one, histogram. Don't choose bar graph. Choose histogram. So this is different. This is a column chart, also known as a bar graph. Don't choose that. Choose histogram. It's clearly labeled here as histogram. Okay, so make no mistake on that, please. All right. So now I've got my histogram. At this point, you're really almost done, but do some customizations. Excuse me. I'm gonna specify that you need to do some customizations. Here's what I want you to do. Go to customize. Okay. Under histogram, I want you to edit the bucket size here. Edit the bucket size so that your buckets are width 1. Okay, so that makes your chart look like this. Okay, so choosing the bucket size, also known as the bin width or the bin size, is a crucial step in constructing any histogram. You want to choose it for your purposes. Here I want to see a bucket size of 1. All right, and again, that determines how wide these rectangles are. Okay. If you experiment like a bucket size of 50 just makes no sense. 25 makes no sense. 10, you start to see a little bit of a pattern. 5, you kind of see like the smaller the bucket size, the more granular the information displayed becomes. Becomes more detailed. Bucket size of 2 actually looks pretty good. Look like from a presentation standpoint. For this particular data, it looks pretty nice. But go all the way down to bucket size of 1, okay? Because that's probably going to be a better bucket size once we combine all the data. So just keep it simple. And let's just keep a bucket size of 1. Now, next, I want you to further customize by going down to horizontal axis and filling out the min and the max. So the smallest value that you could have for flipping for flipping a coin 30 times is 0, right? You could get 0. So go down to -0.5, actually -0.5 for that, okay? On the min. So this is just determining a range for the x-axis of this figure. And the highest value that you could get is 30 heads, right? So you want to go 1/2 above that, so 30.5. And that's going to make things look nice. Well, maybe not look nice, but it's gonna display all the information that you want. So when you when you look at this, you see that actually between minus zero point 0.5 and zero point 0.5, there's the number 0. So that the all we have is integer values, right? So we see that out of our 20 sequences of coin tosses, none of them resulted in 0 heads. Likewise, none of them resulted in 1 head, or 2, or 3, or 4, 5, and so on. Finally, between 7.5 and 8.5, in other words, the number 8 is represented by this bar. So this means when I go over to the y-axis, there was one time where I got exactly 8 heads. When you look through the data, you see that's the case, right? It's right here. Right? And 8, it doesn't appear anywhere else. So if we look at the tallest bar, for example, between 14.5 and 15.5 is what? The number 15, right? So 15 occurred 3 times. When we look at the data, we say, okay, yeah, here's 1, here's 2, and then here's 3. So yeah, 15. The 15 heads were observed in 3 out of the 20 sequences, right? Okay, so that's what this histogram means. At this point, you're really done. I call it a day and say this is what you can submit. So hope that helps. All right, just send me if you're doing it with Google Sheets, just send me the link, and that'll be fine. All right. Yeah, that's it. All right. Good luck.